The night the storm rolled over Chicago's glass towers was the night everything changed for Ethan Cole, a 36-year-old single father who scrubbed office floors long after every suit had gone home. The world saw him as invisible, another tired janitor pushing a cart through the polished hallways of North Pier Corporate Center, but that night, when his daughter's trembling voice echoed down the empty corridors screaming, "Daddy, please stop them," Ethan proved just how wrong the world had been about him. The moment he heard her cry, the mop slipped from his hand, adrenaline surged through him like wildfire, and the quiet office tower became a battleground for a father who had already lost too much to ever lose again. If you believe in kindness and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Soul Tale right now. It helps stories like these reach more hearts. Ethan's life had unraveled the day his wife passed away 4 years earlier in a highway accident on I-94. Since then, he had raised his only child, 7-year-old Lily, with whatever strength he could gather between double shifts and sleepless nights. He worked as a janitor at Bright Tech Innovations, a large software company downtown, the kind that paid their executives bonuses bigger than the entire janitorial budget. Every morning, he packed Lily's lunch, braided her hair the best he could, and reminded her how much her mother would have loved her bright laugh. But beneath all the tenderness was a quiet desperation. His rent was late, his hands always hurt, and most days he ate only whatever he could scrape together after making sure Lily had enough. Bright Tech's office tower was beautiful, glass walls reflecting the lake, open floors lit by soft white LEDs, air that always smelled faintly of citrus cleaners, but Ethan never got to enjoy any of that. His place was in the background, the storage room, the supply closet, the empty floors after midnight. The executives rarely acknowledged him, except Claire Reynolds, the HR supervisor who sometimes brought him leftover pastries. She always said he reminded her of her brother who had also struggled after becoming a single parent. Sometimes she asked how Lily was doing, and Ethan appreciated that more than he ever said out loud. That night, however, Claire had asked him if he could swing by the office to pick up a folder she accidentally left behind. Ethan didn't mind. He often came in with Lily when he couldn't find anyone to watch her. She would sit quietly in the staff lounge with her homework or draw pictures of her family, usually a stick-figure mom in angel wings, a tall dad with tired eyes, and her little self holding both their hands. It was close to 10 p.m. when everything changed. Lily had been in the break room drawing while Ethan finished cleaning the executive floor, the quietest level in the building. He always cleaned that floor last because it allowed Lily to sleep on the small couch nearby if she got tired. But as he turned to empty the last trash bin, he heard a scuffle, shoes scraping, something falling, and then Lily's panicked voice carrying through the empty hallway. 3 men, 2 former interns and 1 disgruntled contractor who had been fired earlier that morning, had broken in to steal data from Bright Tech's high-security servers. What they hadn't expected was a small girl in the break room retrieving her crayons, or the janitor who would charge at them with the force of every fear he'd ever carried. Ethan found the men surrounding Lily near the glass conference room. She was backed against the wall, her eyes wide, tears streaking her cheeks, whispering, "Daddy, please stop them." And something inside Ethan snapped, not in anger, but in a primal, desperate surge of protection so violent that even he didn't recognize the strength in his own body. He didn't hesitate. He shoved the first man away from Lily and slammed him into the table. The second swung a metal tool at him, grazing Ethan's arm, but Ethan grabbed his wrist and twisted until the tool clattered to the floor. The third tried to drag Lily away, but Ethan lunged and pulled her free, shielding her with his entire body. Years of exhaustion had never taken this from him. This instinct, this fire, this unbreakable love. Within minutes, all 3 men were disarmed, bruised, and pinned to the ground. Ethan, panting, bleeding from his arm, held one down with a mop handle until building security arrived after Lily managed to press the alarm panel on the wall just as he told her. By the time the police came, the men were arrested, and the supervising officers were astonished that a janitor had single-handedly saved a child while stopping a break-in that could have cost the company millions. But Ethan wasn't thinking of any of that. He was kneeling on the floor, cradling Lily, brushing her hair back and whispering, "You're safe now, sweetheart. I'm here. I'm always here." News spread quick, even though Ethan didn't want it to. Some security guard must have mentioned it online, because by sunrise, the story had bounced through local forums, then a few community blogs, then someone on social media tagged Brighttech's CEO, Jonathan Hale. And that's when everything took an unexpected turn. The next morning, as Ethan arrived at the office for his regular shift, Lily tucked in her coat, clutching his hand, a long black motorcade rolled up to the building. 3 SUVs, polished, tinted windows, flanked by security personnel. For a moment, Ethan froze. His first instinct was fear. Maybe the company thought he had put them at risk, maybe he'd get fired for bringing Lily at night, maybe the men's families were here for retaliation. His mind spiraled, the way it always did when he felt powerless. But then the rear door of the lead SUV opened, and CEO Jonathan Hale stepped out, followed by 2 board directors, and Claire from HR, who gave Ethan a warm, relieved smile. Jonathan Hale was known to be strict, private, and intimidating, the kind of man who rarely visited the lower floors unless absolutely necessary. But this morning, he walked straight to Ethan, not with superiority, but with genuine respect. He told Ethan that he had reviewed everything, the security footage, the police reports, the near data breach that could have collapsed their biggest partnership. He had watched Ethan throw himself into danger for his daughter and for a company that barely knew his name. Then, in front of the staff gathering around them, Jonathan Hale told Ethan that heroes didn't always wear badges or sit in corner offices. Sometimes they wore gloves, pushed carts, and carried pain no one else could see. The company offered him a full scholarship for Lily's education, a promotion to safety supervisor, and a salary that finally let him breathe for the first time in years. They even offered therapy resources for both him and Lily to help them move past the trauma. But the part that broke Ethan the most wasn't the money, it was when Jonathan Hale knelt down to Lily's height and told her she had a father stronger and braver than any superhero. For the first time in a long while, Ethan felt seen, not as someone surviving day to day, but as someone who mattered. Weeks passed. Ethan moved into a safer apartment, enrolled Lily in art classes she'd always dreamed about, and slowly rebuilt the life he had once thought was out of reach. Brighttech became a different place for him, not just a job, but a future. People who used to walk past him now greeted him by name. Claire from HR often checked in to ensure he was adjusting to his new role, and Ethan, still humble, still soft-spoken,